Hey guys, what's up? This is Regeneration. How you guys doing today? So in this video, I am just woodcutting actually, and oh well, that's not a fucking ivy, that's a desk. I'm just woodcutting right now, and I wanted to talk to you guys about what it's like to be a player moderator. Now I'm not saying that I am. I used to be a player moderator a few years ago, and I'll talk about how it was like to be a player moderator, and also why I'm not a player moderator anymore. So obviously, first things first, there's a couple things that player moderators, even if you're not one, it's just probably a good idea to not to talk about, but nonetheless, I'll get into what I can talk about. So a few years ago, on a different account, of course, not on this one, I was a player moderator, and basically, it came as a surprise to me. Now, usually, if Jagex if the Jagex moderator team chooses you to be a player moderator, it's usually because of your helpfulness to other players, your general maturity in difficult situations, and also your ability to report any rule breakers and just to generally make the game a more fun and safe place for everybody. It also generally helps to be active on the forums and try to get noticed. If you wanted to be a player moderator, that is your best bet, is to try to report. However, now this is a very widely misconcepted thing that a lot of people talk about, is that if you report a lot of people, you will become a player mod. That's not the case at all. You could report as many people as you want, and you could never become a mod. Now, the thing with being a player moderator is that you should never just try to go for it, because chances are you're never going to get it if you're just trying to go for it. However, the best ways are to indeed report people. However, it's not quantity, it's always quality of the report and what the person has done that may be a big offense to the Jagex team. It also, as I said, helps to be active on the forums during very important matters of discussion. And it also just helps, as I said, to generally just try to be around places with lots of people, try to help people out, and just try to do your best as a player in the game. That's how you really get noticed by Jagex, but not always. As I said, if you try to be, you probably will not become one. When I was asked via the message center, of course, remember that a Jagex moderator will never ask for your login details, and they will never PM you. It's always through the message center, where you usually get your billing info when you get your membership. That's where you will be contacted if they do deem you worthy to be a player moderator. Then from there, they will ask you if you wanted to become, and you can choose to accept or decline. And then I believe nowadays, after you accept, what will happen is you will become a temporary, not a temporary mod, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like a what the hell's the word I'm looking for? It's like a moderator that doesn't have all of their their stars and stripes, I guess you could say. They don't have everything that a normal moderator does. It's like a new recruit, basically. Can't think of the word for it, but basically, what that means is that once you are a player moderator, you can suggest a mute. Now, here's the good things about being a player moderator. There is no benefits to being a player moderator, okay? This is widely misconcepted as well. There's no benefits to becoming a player moderator, other than the fact that when you need to report somebody, your reports are basically top listed. They go to a separate part of the Jagex staff for review. So they can better understand the situation and can quickly address it, because they always trust a report from a player moderator, obviously, over a normal player. And the other thing is that when you are at least a new moderator, you can suggest a mute, because the Jagex team does not know how well you will work with the mute option, so therefore they will give you the option to suggest a mute, and after a few times or so, they will be able to assess whether they think you are a capable enough mod to deserve to have your own mute button. Once you are over that point, you get your own mute button, and from then you can, if somebody needs to be muted for some reason, like including being very offensive to other players and such, the way that you can stop them from harming other players and also harming themselves, getting themselves in more trouble, is to simply mute them. and that is a either 24 or 48-hour mute. Now, I haven't been a mod for several years, so I don't know if they've added anything extra than that, but that's how it used to be when I was a moderator. Now, there are certain benefits to being a mod, but it's nothing like people mostly think, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So the general basic benefits of being a moderator besides that is that you get to have your own cool player moderator room. It's basically a copy of, I believe it's like the downstairs area of Varrock Bank or something like that. It's an existing dungeon in the game, basically. There's no special benefits to it. You can't just go down there and train. You can't get any XP down there for me because it's an unfair advantage, basically. It's part of the game that's locked out to everybody else. So you do get a player moderator room, and that's basically just to converse with your fellow moderators and the Jagex staff, if need be. Other than that, there also are different player moderator groups. There are different teams for moderators, and you are not always assigned to a team as far as I remember, but there's like a media team, and there's like different teams for different things. I don't remember because it's been a really long time, but that's basically how that works. Now, on the forums, you get a silver crown, obviously, in the game, but on the forums, that does not show when you post a comment, so you won't be able to tell a player moderator from a normal moderator. Reason for that is because there are dedicated forum moderators for the forums with a green crown. So how do you tell a player moderator? Well, it's the classic silver crown with the little M in it, or a silver star with an M in it. I believe the silver star is if you are a moderator and a VIP member, but I'm not sure. It was something that I'm pretty sure is new. But nonetheless, that's how you can distinguish a player moderator from other mods. And basically, besides that, there are also certain sections in the forums that you are allowed to go on that other people aren't, obviously, to talk with fellow moderators, player moderators, forum moderators, and Jagex moderators for certain things. And those are the areas where the Jagex team basically says, you know, keep these certain things confidential because they let us in on some certain things that are just not supposed to be known for the general public. And if you actually talk about any of the things said, they will demod you, which means you're not a moderator anymore. Also, if you're not active on an account, on a moderator account for a very long time, or Jagex is suspicious over your account not being safe and somebody might be able to hack it or any other reason, they will demod you. So on my account, for example, that I was a player moderator on, I was not active on it for a long time, and so I'm pretty sure that's the reason I was demodded, and I honestly, I didn't mind. Now, there's also some bad things that go with being a player moderator. Now, with being a player moderator, Jagex doesn't force you to do anything. It's not like you have a job or anything. It's just another helpful eye, basically, to them. There's only about 2,000 to 3,000 player moderators in the whole game, about the same amount, maybe a little bit less than Jagex moderators. So there's not a whole lot of us. And so basically, how that works is, fuck, I forgot what I was just saying. Sorry about that. So basically how that works is if you are a player moderator and you think that something isn't particularly right, you can go to Jagex, or you could talk to a Jagex mod. Usually the mods will be online sometimes, and you'll be able to talk to them for certain reasons, but there's really no benefits besides the ones that I've listed. Now, the reasons that I didn't like being a mod was, for instance, like, you know, as I was saying, it's not a job that you don't owe them anything. They just trust you extra tools, I guess. You know, trust you extra things in the game. But the reason I personally didn't like it is that I'm a very helpful guy in RuneScape. I don't know if that's maybe why I got it. I'm guessing so, or whatever. But nonetheless, in RuneScape, sometimes people get annoying and people are always asking you questions, like when you're a player moderator. And that's something that I didn't like, and that's something I talked about in my first video, how I never wanted to do RuneScape videos because I didn't want a bunch of people PMing me all the time or being in my friends chat or whatever. I just don't do well with that. It's kind of annoying. It's like having paparazzi, you know? That's why I could never handle being famous like in real life. It's just kind of annoying. So yeah, I had a lot of people asking me things, and I tried to help them as best as I could, but it does kind of get old after a while, especially when people are asking stupid questions, I guess. And by stupid questions, I mean not really any question's a stupid question, because most players don't know what player moderators do or whatever, and they're just curious. But nonetheless, I suffice to say that they ask things that should just be well known. Like, for instance, they think that I could just spawn items for them, or that Jagex can spawn items for us, or that we get certain benefits, or we're like totally rich, or we automatically can raise our levels, or have any item that we want. That's not the case. So that is very widely misconceptive to many people. As I said, there is no other benefits besides the ones that I've told you. We are just regular players with a crown next to our name that can either mute or suggest a mute, and we get our reports top listed, and we get a little bit easier time talking with the Jagex moderators. That's basically it. Otherwise, it's kind of a burden, as sometimes. Usually, I mean, player moderators they're literally just normal players, but they're just like everybody else. And so sometimes when we get asked a lot of questions just because we're a player mod, it does get annoying. So that's personally why I didn't mind that I lost my mod status. I never, even tried to get it back. I don't even think you can, honestly, try to get it back. But nonetheless, that was, that's what it's like to be a player mod. It's cool, I guess, because you get noticed, but it does get old kind of sometimes, and especially for me, I didn't really find many people to report. I didn't really find people to mute. Most of the time, I was around people that just had an overall good time, and I just contributed to that, which is, probably the reason I got my mod in the beginning. I never actually really had to enforce my powers that I remember, and I'm not really the type to do that anyways. I don't like to enforce power that I have over other people, because that's, just not a thing to do. And another thing, obviously, if you guys didn't know, if you got player moderators cannot just abuse their power. If you falsely report somebody or even mute somebody, you will be demodded most likely. Unless it was like some kind of accident, but nonetheless, there should be no accidents. That's unacceptable. And so that's basically what I personally remember and learned being a player moderator. And it was a good time, but honestly, it's not really all that special. A lot of normal players they like keep it highly coveted, kind of like right next to Zezma, like, oh, he's a player moderator, or oh, it's Zezma, but it's not really anything special. It's literally just being a normal player with, a couple extra rights, But anyways, I did enjoy it. I'm not gonna say I didn't, but sometimes it did get annoying, and but for most of the time, it was, it was fun. I just played the game as normal, and yeah, I do kind of miss those days. Maybe I'll become a player moderator again someday. But anyways, I know that one of the reasons I made this video is because I know a lot of videos on YouTube have been made in the past that weren't exactly the best at detailing what a player moderator is and what they do and what they cannot do. So I wanted to make this video to showcase from what I remember and from what I personally know as being a moderator back in the day. Another thing too, you can't just go out and say that you're a player moderator, obviously, if you don't have a crown. It's probably not even a good idea to say that you were a player moderator or that you are a player moderator on a different account, because you can be reported, and it would technically be false report on their end because they don't know that you might actually be a player moderator, but once again, they don't know that. So, to them, it's basically on your head if you decide to say that, because then you could get falsely banned or falsely permanently muted or whatever, for something like that. So even if you are a mod, or you play on a different account, or you just want to boast that you're a mod, it's not a good idea to do that if you don't have the proof. Actually, a few months ago, I was in this predicament, which is why I say that, where I was talking about my time as being a player moderator, and people wanted proof, and I was like, hey, I cannot prove it to you because I'm no longer a moderator, and so they told me that they were going to report me, and I said, honestly, that is a very good idea. I would do the same thing. I am not mad at you at all for doing that, but nonetheless, this is why I say, if just don't do it. Especially if you're going to act like a player moderator, or even worse, a Jagex moderator, and you try to PM people that, you're trying to just scam them. Don't do it. You're gonna fucking get banned. It's just not a smart thing to do. I'm telling you from experience. And shit, a couple days ago, I had this guy PM me, saying, his name was like Jag Team or something. Obviously, it wasn't a Jagex moderator with a golden crown next to their name that says the word mod, and they said something like along the lines of, "Oh, we have noticed how you've been nice to other players." And see, that adds to the misconception. It's not just about being nice to other players, I fucking started laughing my ass off when I saw that, and I was like, oh, really? Well, I noticed that you're trying to be scamming, and you're trying to scam people, so I reported that guy, and he's probably already banned. So, yeah, just don't try any of that stuff. That is probably one of the quickest ways to get banned. But nonetheless, maybe one day I will become a player moderator again. But until that day, I just wanted to upload this for people who wanted to know, the personal life of somebody who used to be a moderator. And I mean, it's been a long time, and there's not really a lot of videos talking about it because there's not a lot of mods, and there are a lot of mods that might want to do a video. They just are either scared to do a video about it, or they just don't want to talk about it, or it's just nothing special that they need to talk about. Not many people talk about how it is to be a mod, so I just wanted to put this video up here, especially since I'm not a mod anymore, So I have total rights to do that, So, but obviously, there's still a lot of things that I used to know that obviously are not good to talk about, just because out of courtesy to Jagex, it would not be, appropriate, even though most of the things that I knew were already things that have come to light anyways. I mean, it's not like they really, give us, inside scoops of updates or anything, but they do tell us things that are generally not for the public, so... But anyway, so, I mean, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. It's a pretty long video, this video, but I think this is probably one of the most interesting videos I've done. I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any more questions for me or comments, please do comment down below and tell me if you like this video. This is probably one of my favorite videos thus far. And if I did mess up on anything, I apologize. I'm not trying to act like I'm a moderator. I'm not lying saying that I used to be a moderator. I really was a moderator, but once again, I can't furnish proof because that was a while ago, and I don't know if I actually have any pictures from when I was a moderator. I might have to go see if I could find those, actually. That's interesting. If I can find those, I will probably do an update video to this, being like, oh, these are the times from when I was a mod or whatever, stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, hope you guys like this video. If anybody is a moderator, or a Jagex moderator, or a forum moderator, or the likes, who wishes to any questions, comments, or concerns to me, also feel free to PM me in-game, I guess. Obviously, my name is Regeneration. I also have my friends chat open for people to hang out in. I also have my clan chat, which is Exiled Empire. You guys can guest in there if you want. Well, I am a co-owner and co-founder of that clan since 2008 or 2009, around that time. A long time. Yes, so either PM me in game or comment down below. Anyways, thanks guys for watching this video about how it's been like, what it's like to be a player moderator, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.